if you know me, then you know that I love romance shows. That's like my crux. That's my bread and butter. I love watching them. Not saying there's like a lot of great ones or even good ones, but what some of my favorite shows are romance shows, as you can see, and just everything that I just love them so much. But the sad thing is, a lot of romance shows, there's a lot of things where there's nothing unique about them, and a lot of studios don't know how to do romance, or they think they know how to do romance and they just don't know how to do it. It's really bad. But this show, Tsuki ga Kirei, is another story. If you want to know if I recommend the show to you guys, yes, I do. I recommend you go watch Tsuki ga Kirei. It is a unique, interesting take on something that I haven't really seen at all, to a degree, with romance shows in terms of like a middle school relationship. And if you want to know what the show's about, it's basically just two middle schoolers who like each other, and then they get together, and then it's about them figuring out how to be in a relationship at the age of 12 to 13. It's one of those shows, and honestly, it's really good. We're going to be getting into the spoilers here for the most part, so if like you want to go watch that show, go watch it. I do recommend you go watch it, as I just said. But the good thing that I think is very unique about this show is its believability. Its believability in what it does and how it acts and what the story does and how the characters interact with what they do. The main character, Akane and Izumi, they both are the main characters of the show, and their actions of believability is so great that it's honestly just really good. We have them pretty much, what the crux of the show tries to do is a lot of texting, and this texting really shows the believability of just any middle schooler relationship, or just middle schoolers in general, and how they act. They're very quiet in person, but then when they can text, they text like they're freaking talking in person. It's weird. They are able to say what they want to say, and it's because of that whole, we have the internet now and we can express ourselves rather in text than we can in person, and that's really shown in the show. It's not in a negative connotation in the show. It's very much just, that's how middle schoolers are, and that's what they're going to do. And having a 13-year-old nephew who's in a relationship at the moment, I definitely have seen this to the exact degree that their show presents itself. And I just have to give congratulations to the studio to honestly understand how middle schoolers act in this day and age. It's very realistic. Even the parents are realistic in the show, which we will be getting into later, but even them, they are realistic. Akane, Izumi is very realistic in how he wants to, when he gets excited, he punches the light fan, in excitement, or, he's just like, I feel like I'm doing something good right now, and he punches that light fan, the string on his light. And then Akane, she's very shy, so she has this plushie, like a plush toy, where she like squeezes it or whatever, and it's like, that's very, I can understand, and I totally get these characters and their little quirks that they have, and these quirks add to the story throughout, and it honestly comes together towards the end of the show as well. Side characters honestly don't really matter, and that's really sad, because Izumi has these two kind of best friends, like buddy guys that he hangs out with. They're not really anything. They're just kind of there to show he has friends. It's really just kind of disappointing that they're really nothing. And honestly, in a lot of romance shows, they do that. They have the buddy best friends who don't really add up to anything. Some shows do actually do things with all their characters, but with the romance shows, but this show does not. And for a good reason. It does focus on the main characters pretty much all throughout. So I understand why these side characters are not focused on. Akane also has side character friends who you don't really know their names or anything. It's just kind of like they're there to show that she has friends. And it works because towards the end of the show, we'll get to it, but they start dating towards the fourth episode. I felt in the first two episodes that this show was very slow. I wasn't really I was just like, okay, I totally get what you're doing with this whole middle school relationship, but where's it going? Definitely the build up and the execution of Izumi asking Akane out and everything that goes on is really well done. And these two episodes, I think episode 4 and 5, or it's 3 and 4, they definitely are well executed. And definitely there's other episodes which I'll be getting to that are just honestly better, or just as good. But saying that, there's a lot of slow spots in the show, and even slow for this type of show, which is a middle school relationship, you got to expect that some things are going to be slow. But there's strides of like, it's decently paced, just like, okay, I'll go through this episode, I'm liking it, they're decently pacing this out, there's a clear motivation or goal throughout this whole episode, but the way they present some of these doesn't really work out for me. The amusement park episode, I don't really enjoy. It's basically just like, we have these side characters who want to ask out Akane and Izumi. They both like them, and basically this is like what we're going to focus on, and it doesn't really go anywhere, and it kind of sucks for the most part. And basically the whole episode is just like for the whole group to find out they are dating. Now for me, I don't really care about this because, okay, Izumi and Akane definitely is just like, oh my gosh, I don't want, like, you know, like their friends are going to find out. I care about these two main characters. But for the most part, I don't really care about any of these side characters for them to, you know, like be focused on in any capacity of like just them sitting there talking or whatever. Like I just felt like the pacing for that episode way off. I didn't really enjoy it, and there's other spots in the show where it does that as well. But definitely there's a lot. I mean, it's one of those things. There's definitely a lot better episodes than there are bad episodes. Especially the festival episode, which I feel like does a lot better at focusing on the main characters and basically them getting into their relationship more. And basically when the two main characters are able to kind of be alone and kind of focus on their relationship, it works super well. Once you add side characters in the mix, it starts to bog down the plot and really just kind of, you kind of just go like, can we move on from this? Because it's really just like, it doesn't matter for the most part. And I mean, just like different things, like saying first names, that's cute. Definitely the build up to the kiss when they finally kiss, like seeing each other's lives towards the middle parts of the ending sections of this anime, when they're just like, I want to learn more about your life and you want to learn more about my life, and we're gonna like help each other get through this, and we're gonna like motivate each other. And I'm just like, yes, that's exactly what the show does right. The relationship between Akane and Izumi, and it honestly works for the whole show. The big plot towards the end of the show, which is around episode 9, 10, 11, and 12, for the most part, is Akane is going to move. She's moving away, and basically this brings out, I was wondering where the show is going to go, because I was honestly just like, are we just going to keep going with the same middle schooler plot line, which is fine and everything, but we really need something big and motivational to keep the show rolling and kind of get a big conflict going on. And they definitely do this. Her moving away is a serious plot and like motivation for characters for basically the two main characters to grow and learn how to be in difficult situations. It's really nice. Akane definitely feels responsible. She feels like she's a burden to Izumi because of her moving, because he wants to go to her school. He's working really hard, and then he's just like, I didn't make it in. And he's just like, well, I can come and visit you and like 3 times a week. And it's one of those things where it's just like, when you're in a relationship back when you're 12 and 13 years old, you think that you can just go visit anytime you want to, or like, you know, you can do these long distance relationships even in high school, and it's going to work out just fine because they're going to go to high school, and it's just like, that's not really going to work out. And you can kind of tell it's kind of not going to work out. Sometimes it does, and that's where this show kind of leads to. It does, but it's definitely really good with what it does. Basically, there's a lot of things towards this end of the show that I really like. The parents get more focus on in this season. The mother of Izumi thinks that writing is stupid and you shouldn't do it. And I'm like, okay, what mother says that, for one thing? That was the only part I was just like, what mother says like writing is dumb? Okay, another thing is, the mother, honestly, she's very reluctant, wants her son to kind of have this big future for him, wants to make him, she's like, you need to think about your life. and you need to, think realistically and not in your freaking dream world. And he's just like, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then once he figures out that, he can't just do whatever he wants to do, he has to think realistically. His mother honestly backs him up. It's just like, I'm here for you, son. If you want, like, I'm here to support you in any way, shape, or form. I'm here to, be there for you. And honestly, the father, what I like about the show is that the father is parents differently than the mother. The mother is very strict, very harsh, very just all over the place. The father is very laid back, relaxed. He comes in and fathers when he's needed. He doesn't like try to dwell on anything. He doesn't really go to lengths or anything, but when he talks and when he speaks to his son, it means something. And that's what I like about this show. And I wish that the parents actually got more in this show than what they did. And it's really great when it's done. And I really wish there was a lot more of the parents in the show, other than 1 or 2 episodes. Again, the texting just keeps coming back in the show, and it's the best thing about this show. It is honestly just the best. Just the way they interact and everything. It's really great. And I just have to really kind of put that out there for everybody. The texting is one thing that's really a constant in the show and really works and really is the outlier of why the show is very unique and interesting. And it's because it's the believability in these characters. Pretty much just the main 2 characters, but that's what they focus on. So that's pretty much all of them. So yeah. The last episode was done really well. Basically, the last 2 episodes are done really well. But like the last episode in particular, just have like the whole message of having your first love, and it's a small part of your life and everything, but it definitely has a big impact on the rest of your life and where that's going to head to. Definitely with Akane feeling responsible for being a burden on Izumi, and Izumi's just like, this is, basically taking his life experience from his relationship and using it for his writing, because he was brought down earlier in the anime from being a writer and everything. He's just like, you should be a light novel writer. He's like, I don't want to be a light novel writer. I want to be a serious novel writer. And he was told not to be. And basically, he's taking his life experiences and using that to write better stories that are from his influences in his life to create to have better stories. It's just really done really well. And just the last episode when he's oh my gosh, when he's chasing after the Izumi, when he's chasing after Akane at the end of the episode, it's just really beautiful. I felt even when he was chasing her, though, the Chinatsu girl, which is basically the girl that likes Izumi, really felt useless, and I was wondering if something was going to go up with that with Chinatsu, and it just really was. I don't like that character. I don't understand Chinatsu. I don't get her whole point in the show. Especially, there's another character that's the exact same as Chinatsu, which is the jock who likes Akane. And I'm just like, okay, so we have 2 characters that like the 2 main characters. They can't get with the 2 main characters. And we never get really anything on these characters until they want to ask them out. So we only get the points in time of when they meet the main characters, which is when they are just going to ask them out, or when they're sad afterwards. I'm just like, okay, but that doesn't really... I don't really understand these people. What would be nice, what I think they should have done was have Chinatsu and then the boy that likes Akane, have them get together in the end of the anime and show that they're going to be together. I just think that would have been better. I think that they should have shown that at the end, maybe them consoling each other. She runs to him at the end of this anime and kind of gives him a hug. It doesn't need to be the main focus, but when you're going to have a side story within the main story of this whole thing, maybe end it off right instead of just having it kind of left open. I just feel like that's what they should have done. It's one of those things where it's just like, you do good with the main characters, but once you got to focus on these side characters, you don't really do that well with it. We're going to move on to art animation. Art animation, CGI people, what the heck? The CGI people looked awful. Every time I saw that, I was like, why? I was like, what are you doing? It's really stupid. The art can look really good at times. It definitely has a unique kind of watercolor art style, which looks really nice all the time, but some things can look really amazing. The festival episode, all that freaking oh my gosh, looks amazing. The nighttime at the music park, It's just really good. The animation, it can be okay. It's fine. It's nothing bad. But definitely the last episode when Izumi is running after Akane for the train and whatnot, and definitely different scenes throughout that, his running, oh my gosh, like it's just amazing. And it really hits hard at the end of the show. You just like, you need like something of that magnitude to have great animation, and it really shows. And that last yell that he does, like, I love you, and I'm just like, that's really nice. Like, it really is like a roundabout relationship, and it's gonna keep going. It does have a good theme music. I did like it. There's all the other like music in the show, I was like, I don't particularly care. I don't really see any other music that's really out there. Like, I don't really remember anything except like the theme song, which is nice. The opening is like fine as well. I didn't really care for it. It's this kind of like, it's catchy. It's a catchy theme, but overall it's like whatever. I'm gonna give the show a 7 out of 10. Overall, Tsuki ga Kirei is a middle school slice of life about having your first love with very believable characters and actions. It drags in some places, and side characters could have been done better, but the main focus on Izumi and Akane are done really well. I really like this. I just want to stress that the believability in the show is done really well, and definitely I think you can tell by that if you watch the show or if you have seen it. I recommend that if you want some recommendations off this show, I recommend Toradora or Kimi to Todoke. These both shows are pretty good. I think Kimi to Todoke is great. I think Toradora is great as well. Definitely Toradora is more the relationship in the school, kind of, leading to this kind of overall a relationship that's going to go after school, and they're going to like get married, like it leads to that. Kimi to Todoke is more of a middle school kind of shy relationship that Tsuki ga Kirei kind of does. It's longer. I don't feel like it's slow, but that's just me. I know a lot of people have different opinions on this show, Kimi to Todoke, but I preferably like this show a lot. So yeah, that's kind of the recommendations I have for you. So tell me what you guys think about the show. I personally like this show. There's a lot of things that I love this show. Some things that I'm just like, you could have done better with it. But overall, it was a good show. I really do like it. And definitely at the end when they had like the credits on the last episode and showing the different, showing the future and what they're going to do, and the text messages. The text messages are in the last freaking episode at the end when they're doing the credits. I'm just like, they know exactly what they want to do, and they care about what they're making, and it's really good. Studio Phil knows what they're doing, and I really enjoy it. So tell me what you guys think, and I will catch you guys later.